like to call the July 2nd City of West Bend Bid Board meeting to order. If we do now, thank you to Beth on the speakerphone, we will have acknowledgement of quorum. So we're good there. If everyone's had a chance to go over the June bid board minutes, if we could have a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, great. Okay, a couple of things then for the agenda today, starting with Carissa, if you want to talk a little bit about the financial report.
Sure. So nothing really out of the ordinary. We still have the 2023 carry forward from the bid Facade grant, and then the 2024 investment interest collected to date. The one thing that I guess is different that you'll notice is that we do have something in the landscaping, so that was our first payment.
Krista, can you use your mic?
So we paid out the $3,039
Yes.
for watering.
Yep, that's our first one.
What period does that cover?
It was last month's, so the first month.
Was this before all of the big planters were up or after?
I don't know about that one. It would be
Motion
before.
to-
I believe it was all of May and the beginning of June.
Thank you, Jess.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, concerns on the budget?
I was going to make a motion to approve.
Okay.
And
Any
we can do questions.
Yep, any discussion? I actually have a question on the, because I know it's on the agenda today. So where we have lights and decorations, I believe, is that 25,000, is that, right now, that is what is set aside for taking, or putting the tree up and putting up everything and then taking down?
Yes.
For all the lights and the decorations, that is the cost to put it up and down?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And the 7,200 was it taking down from last year.
Okay,
The putting up goes in this year, the taking down goes in next year.
and next year, okay, thank you. Okay, so we've had a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we just wanted to bring up a downtown safety concern that happened, and Chief Dehring has been grateful enough to come this morning right before the holiday. Thank you so much for doing that. Maybe just explain a little bit to the bid that those that don't know what happened, and for the community, and you know what your comments were in regards. You had a nice article in the paper, thank you.
Sure.
But feel free to go ahead.
Great. Well, thanks for having me, number one. I laughed a little bit, sorry, smarty in me. The holiday weekend, for 30 years as a cop, this is one of our busier weeks. No vacation for the PD, so we'll be there to make sure the city has a great celebration, safe and effective celebration. So come down to the parade's beautiful. Come down to Regner after. If you haven't been to Regner Park after the parade, which I know a lot of us head our own ways, you have to come down. It's a celebration of everything that is West Bend. And then, of course, our beautiful fireworks, so we'll be there. So thanks for having me today. I was prepared to maybe talk a little bit higher level, too, about what the police department is doing in the downtown to make sure that the businesses and the customers are having a safe experience, and our citizens, of course. But certainly I can discuss the bike incident that occurred in front of the Huszar business. One of his employees exited after work, came out, if you know, I'm sure you all know that building. It's kind of those blind alcoves, walked out, and there was a gentleman riding an electric bike on the sidewalk, no hands, headphones in, and if you haven't seen the video, it's horrendous. We're very lucky that she wasn't hurt more severely and hit her head or something along those lines. So that gentleman was cited for riding on the sidewalk, and it's a $187 fine, so not insignificant. I'm sure that there might be some civil remedies coming for him as well. Every year when school gets out, we educate the entire staff on bike and pedestrian laws. It's a standing roll call training. It actually was issued the week of that incident, coincidentally. We also made it more of a point to talk about bikes in the downtown this year, because of the reopening, because of last year might have slipped people's minds a bit from the police department standpoint because of the limited traffic that was down there. So certainly making that an issue. Specifically, our full-time CSO, April, knows that that's a priority for the department. All of our CSOs that are down there a little more regularly. Right now, bless you, we have a full-time CSO on our mid-shift for a brief period of time before she enters recruit school in the end of July. She has definitely taken it as one of her, taken ownership of the downtown and of those issues. And then all of the officers were very clearly instructed that this is a priority of enforcement when you're in the downtown area. So through education, through our public messaging as well, that was, ironically, that message was crafted, and Alderman Allen can back me on this. We issued our monthly report, which is where they get that editorial from. That Friday, that happened Thursday night, we issued it on Friday. That message had been crafted previous to the incident. So a lot of things coming together to make sure that we're addressing it. So public messaging and education to our staff to make sure they're aware of the ordinance and reminding them of the priorities, because our staff has a lot of duties that they're carrying out throughout the city. And when I was a young officer assigned to the downtown on bike patrol, I believe it was 1997, I was able to stay in the downtown the entire night, make sure there was no kids riding their bikes on the sidewalks in my downtown in 1997. Our officers don't have that luxury right now. We don't have the luxury to have an officer posted full-time downtown. They're running call to call, and we're addressing that, and they're doing a great job. We have a wonderful team of young men and women dedicated to protect and serve the community. But we reminded them that this is an issue. And unfortunately, that video was so shocking. Fortunately, it became a much better reason why we need to do this than anything I could say to them. So I did share that video with our team as well, and it's generated enough discussion that they understand, okay, this is a deal. You can imagine when you're dealing with some of the issues that our police department deals with on a daily basis, that you could imagine someone saying a kid riding a bike on the sidewalk might not be our highest level of priority. So the video was certainly an unfortunate incident, but helpful for us to explain to the officers this is why, and certainly develop that conversation.
So just out of curiosity, the kids that are going like up and down doing the popping the wheelies, which is again in 1997, that would have been totally fine, and kids having fun, and you hate to do that, but it doesn't matter the age of the child, right? So if somebody is underage, the kid still gets the ticket.
12 years old is our cutoff for a citation.
Okay.
But there's a lot of opportunities for enforcement or education that don't involve a citation. Citations are generally saved for when we know it's a flagrant violation and there's nothing else is going to change that behavior.
Do you feel that additional signage in the downtown would help? Like, not like no scooters, no, not the whole no, but in reinforcing positive bicycle riding? Or do you think that it's just overlooked?
I'm sure our team would be open to that suggestion. I drove through this morning just to remind myself and was shocked as too dramatic. There's a lot of signs downtown. There's a lot of restrictive signs that are in our downtown. Important, our customer parking, and that has been a successful program. And there's a lot of signs making sure people are aware of that. There is a sign directly across the street from where our incident happened from Hussars. There's a sign about 50 feet from on the east side of the road from where the incident happened. There's signs at pretty much every major intersection that enters the downtown that does say the no sidewalk, no bikes, scooters, skateboards on the sidewalks. I don't know if more sign. From the cop standpoint, let's post it all. Let's put a big fence around it, right? That is not within our city team's, my perspective of the downtown either. We want to have people down there. We want to have people enjoying it. Our team will be down there to make sure that we're a little more on top of the bikes on the sidewalk. But again, I remember that's probably the one thing I did the most in 1997. So this is certainly not a new issue.
So they're supposed to ride in the middle of the street, correct?
Yeah, that's the difficult part, right? Is it's hard for me, even as a police officer, to tell them, hey, go ride your bike in the street because of the angle parking, because of the number of cars that are going through there. It's kind of a difficult, right? It's kind of a difficult ask to say, here, go out there, where we would all say. So my instruction is always just to walk their bikes on the sidewalk. If you're in the downtown, walk your bikes, right? Gives it a chance to see all the great businesses down there, maybe smell that popcorn, see the Candyman store open, stop in and ride. So our direction is always going to be to walk your bikes on the sidewalk. You're correct, though. The legally authorized use of a bicycle and skateboard and scooter in the downtown is in the street. You're always required by state statute to ride in the rightmost section of the roadway, but with that angle parking, that puts you out in the middle of the street. So other than strictly prohibiting all the things that we want people to be using in our community to get to our downtown, I don't know. I don't think additional signage and new, more restrictive laws is the way to go. I think public education, targeted enforcement, and then hopefully behavior change and compliance is the way. But that's just the cop in me.
Thank you so much for coming. Does anybody else have any questions for Chief Dehring today?
Just a brief comment. Thanks for the work of yourself and your team, making downtown safer and protecting our residents as well as our visitors. And enjoy the holiday weekend. May it be safe.
Thank you, Alderman. I appreciate it. As long as I'm here, if you wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind touching on a couple of topics just to update the bid board. I think it's a great opportunity since we're here.
Go right ahead.
And the community.
Yeah.
Downtown parking, I think, is everything that we wanted it to be. We're still focused on it dramatically. This year alone, from January to June, we've only issued 40 citations. Now, to you, 40 might seem like a lot. To us, it really isn't. It means we're getting compliance. Our CSO is down there quite a bit, has taken ownership of it. So I really view that launch with cooperation of the bid board and the community and our educational pieces really has been a behavior changing event. So I would like to see that continue. I'd be willing, if there is feedback from the bid or any of the public or the business owners who aren't attached to the bid, I welcome it all the time. We said when we started this, it's a living document and a living process, and if we can improve it, it's great. But driving through the downtown, I see some spots open when they need to be open. So I'm glad for that. Our licensed premise program, we're very aggressive on our licensed premise enforcement. We hold the owners accountable for any violations down there, but I'm very happy to tell you that we maintain a very strong relationship with the licensed premise owners. This year we did not seek to deny any license renewals, which is a significant thing. If they're not cooperating with the police department, if they're not obeying the laws of the city, if they're not doing what's in the best interest of the citizens, I have no problem asking that their license be denied. We didn't have to do that with anyone. We're maintaining a good, strong relationship with them. So I'm proud of that. Our Late Watch continues to have a liaison program with an officer assigned each tavern. That's been very successful. So I wanted to just publicly acknowledge that and thank the owners. They're doing a good job, and we'll stay on top of that so we don't have problems in the downtown. And I think that's about it. Maybe one last thing is to remember for all the business owners and citizens down there is to be part of the solution, be part of protecting yourself and not being a victim. We've had several thefts from behind the Riverwalk area, things of people that have had some items like under their decks and thought they were secure. And just remember, it's not 1997, and even then we had things stolen, bikes stolen, graffiti, damage, those things. So try do your best to not be a victim. Lock up your items. Cameras are great now and a very inexpensive platform to use, but that's reactionary. So get in front of it. Don't leave your stuff out. Make sure you're safeguarding, and then call your police department when you need services. You're never bothering us. We're here to serve you. I'd entertain any questions if you had any, but that about hits it.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Chrissy, you had wanted us to bring up the holiday decorations only because if there are additional items that we need to address, you always have to order them fairly early or we won't have them for Christmas. So if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So yeah, we kind of want to make sure you think through if you want to purchase anything new this year. And then in addition, we've been using David J. Frank to help set up and take down the tree. If you still want to go that route, if you want to explore different options. I know I did get a rough estimate from Doug as well. He usually helps with the labor for the current decorations. If they have to rent an aerial lift, that would be included. But they remove from storage, they haul everything downtown, they assist with install. They remove after the holiday, again, haul to storage and put away in storage. That's roughly $1,000.
What was the total?
So David J. Frank. That one's hard because they go off of labor, but that's why I think we budgeted for the full 25,000. Let's see. They don't have a full exact quote. But minus the labor part, it's 8,657 for setup.
And Doug would do the exact same thing for how much?
Nope, Doug always does the wreaths, and
Doug. I'm like, he's gonna do all this for $1,000? What a nice guy.
no, just the wreaths.
So the wreaths and the sleigh, anything that's outside of the tree and whatever other tree decorations that were put up. I don't know if those are going to happen anymore with the new trees, but the prices that we have is just for mainly the wreaths. It changed over the years, your decorations, but right now it's the wreaths.
Yeah, and this is the tree from David J. Frank.
Is anyone opposed to having Carissa look into another option to see if it's any less expensive?
I don't have a problem with looking into other options, but I think the last time we went out and looked was 2 years ago, and David J. Frank was really the only person that was interested. So I don't know how much luck we'll have, but I'm certainly not opposed to it, but it's below the threshold where we have to go out and seek a competitive bid.
Okay. And does anyone have any thoughts on the current status of the decorations that we have? Do you feel we need any additional? I personally feel that we're sufficient, that we don't need to order anymore. I think we have an absolutely beautiful downtown at Christmas time. But I'm certainly open to hearing if anyone thinks we need more or has any ideas. No?
I think we're sufficient in what we have currently.
Me too.
The only question I have, Chris, is that $7,200, is that the labor for David J. Frank taking it down in January? Is that when they take it down? That a cost?
Yes.
So are we looking at roughly the same to put it back up? I would assume?
So to put it back up, it came out to $8,657.
Okay.
But it varies depending on how much labor. Because it's $60 per hour for labor. So it might change a little.
Okay. But we're still looking roughly $15,000 to put up and take down.
Yes.
Okay. That's all the questions I had.
Okay, so Carissa, you have the approval to go ahead and just at least see if there's any other options out and then just report back to us. Okay, thank you. Noelle, I think, is hiding behind the pole. There she is. Noelle, welcome again from the Downtown West Bend Association. Just giving us a quick brief update on how things are going. I know, again, I was at the market on Saturday and it is just packed down there. And you'd think that it was a dog show. So I love it though. There's lots of great dogs down there, some very cute puppies. So if you want to just give us an update on the downtown, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm going to start with Music on Main, actually. So I know I wasn't able to make it to the last bid meeting, and I know it's been discussed already, but just want to highlight again what a wonderful success our first ever Music on Main block party was on May 30th. And thank you to the Bend for being such a wonderful collaborator on that. Thanks to the city, they did some drone footage and also had another company track more or less how many people were there, and we estimated about 3,500, at least adults, were within that 3-block area from the top of Old Settlers Park down to Hickory Street. So that was really exciting. Wonderful night, great weather too. So the rest of our Music on Mains are at Old Settlers Park. I've seen many familiar face down there on those Thursday evenings. We are taking a break for the 4th of July. There's so many wonderful activities that happen in our city. So we thought we would just, again, take a pause, but we'll be back on July 11th. Music on Main, again, every Thursday until September 5th, which is the final block party. Again, very similar format, just different bands than we had at the first block party. So it's been going really well. We've been very fortunate with the weather for Music on Main thus far. So for the farmers market, yes, it is rain or shine. I wasn't working it this past Saturday. One of my other employees was, but I did work a couple that were rainier. But it is amazing to see that even in the rain, how dedicated certain individuals are, the diehard farmers market fans, and so many of our vendors too that will show up rain or shine as well. But when it is a nice day, as Peggy said, it is a full market, especially once you get to like 9 o'clock in the morning. Lots of people. Yes, we do. We're in the 3rd year now of allowing dogs at the market. I know there's always going to be opinions, yay or nay on that. We are giving it a try again this year, though, following what's been done prior to me. So far, it's been going well enough. But we do plan on actually surveying our vendors, too, because we find that to be very important to us as well, how they're thinking that the market is going to, in just all the aspects of it, including allowing the dogs down there. But yes, very grateful. We have, again, 161 stalls. We don't have that many vendors every Saturday because some of our farmers have 3 stalls each, but on average between 90 to 100 vendors any given Saturday. We are still in voting mode for the best farmers market in Wisconsin. We're looking for that three-peat. So there, we've been posting some things, and also there's some signage with QR codes at the market. The voting ends on July 31st. So if you haven't voted yet for your West Bend Farmers Market, highly encourage you to find that. If you can't find the link, I would be happy to send it to you. I just wanted to mention a couple other upcoming events that are happening downtown. For the first time ever, the West Bend specialty shops and beyond, some more retail shops in our downtown area are participating in a late night shopping event this summer on Friday, July 12th, and it's called the Late Night Luau. We are not closing down any of the roads, but just wanted to be aware that that evening we're hoping to have beautiful weather, of course, and a lot of people coming out to enjoy different deals and shopping there's at least 19 committed retail shops that will be open from 6 to midnight. We'll be having a little bit of entertainment at Old Settlers Park, some ukulele players to tie in with that luau theme, and also Wes from the Antidote and the Outbreak will be there with Carnivore Craig's at Old Settlers Park too, just doing some like pulled pork and tropical mocktails, and a lot of the bars and restaurants will also be doing their own fun tropical drink specials too. So it should be a fun night. And then I just want to put on everyone's radar that Wheels on Main is back on Main, and it will be on Sunday, September 1st. I'm almost to my first full year here at the Downtown West Bend Association. So last year I shadowed Gina, my predecessor, and we were at, of course, Washington County Fair Park. So this will be the first Wheels on Main in charge of back downtown. And of course, from what I understand, everything is blocked off as far as all these cars coming in. So it'll be all of Main Street from like the top of the roundabout down to Walnut and the side streets. We're looking for volunteers. So, but yes, we'll be touching base with businesses too to see who plans on being open on that Sunday of Labor Day weekend. But we are looking forward to it. Normally, I believe around like at least 400 to 450 cars will line all of the streets. So those are all my updates that I have for you today.
Thank you so much, Noelle. I tell you, 5 years ago, you could go downtown West Bend on a Sunday, and there would be maybe a leftover car from Saturday night. So the fact that the Downtown Association, in conjunction with all of the retail shops, are getting people to come down Saturdays all day, Sundays all day, and now late night. I think you're doing a phenomenal job, and I thank you for it, because it's really exciting, because our downtown is really busy, which is great. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that feedback. Happy to be part of the downtown with you.
Okay, for our reports, Larry is not here, but we had two of our.
Peggy? Hi.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm sorry. This is totally my fault. Now, look to Mark to help us with the Robert's rules. Is there a chance we could go back to agenda item 2? There was a couple items I had meant to mention, and I'm sorry, haven't had the coffee yet.
I don't see a
Okay.
problem
Yeah.
unless anybody objects.
No.
I'll be speaking to the agenda items, so
Okay.
just out of order. I'm sorry. There are two really important things that I forgot to address that actually you can help us be part of the solution. And that is, we've very recently made the sidewalk cafes and the sidewalk display permits a priority for the department, with the addition of the beautiful planters and all the plants. Just a little bit concerned that we're maintaining the right-of-way. So we've been very strong with education and outreach with the businesses, and for the most part have gotten excellent compliance, and we realized that a lot of the permits weren't being filed, so we're working with the business owners to file that. So I appreciate that, and we'll continue to have it in that vein. There's some criteria of that the business sidewalk display that we're working through getting compliance in, and that's that those have to be removed every night. So we're working with some of the businesses in the area to make sure they understand that. You can understand there was some initial pushback because we haven't been requiring that permit, but again, why we worked with from an education standpoint, we're going to continue to be on that. So just wanted that on everyone's front of mind, that that is a priority for us to make sure that we're maintaining those right-of-ways for pedestrian traffic, not bike traffic, pedestrian traffic on the sidewalks. So thank you for that. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is deliveries in the downtown. Anyone who spends any time in the downtown has dodged a UPS truck, a Federal Express, Amazon, and so we're working hard with those providers, but what we've been educated on is it's really the business owners have a lot to say in where those deliveries are occurring, and some of the drivers have been very cooperative with us, and a couple have not. So we're just asking that you understand, when you drive through, you know that obstructs traffic, you know that there's a chance that that's going to cause a crash, or it's just blocks the roadway and makes it a little more difficult to navigate the downtown. So asking for cooperation with all of that. We're certainly working through the drivers. Again, most drivers very cooperative with us. That's specifically why we place the loading zones throughout the downtown. That's where those vehicles are supposed to park, in those loading zones when they offload. I understand Amazon especially, their model, right? You see them in our neighborhoods too, park right on the curb or in front of the driveway, run up, throw the package, and they're on their way. Asking them to go to the loading zone is a bit outside of their normal model, but it's our ordinance, and we're not unique in that, requiring that for a community our size. So just asking that all business owners work with your vendors to make sure, and deliveries, that you're helping us to avoid those problems. We'd really prefer not to have to get hardcore and start issuing citations and those things. But at some point, if we're not getting compliance, it is the only means to educate those people. So I'm sorry I didn't bring that up earlier. I had that on my notes and forgot. So appreciate you letting me sneak back into the agenda.
Thank you.
You're not proposing that we start not dodging the delivery trucks, right? Dodging delivery trucks is a good thing. It's when you don't dodge them that bad things happen.
Yes, what we'd like is the delivery trucks to use the loading zone so our citizens don't have to. You know, you have to go into oncoming traffic to get around. We're making some progress on it, but that's going to be a difficult one to solve, just because our entire world has gone to that home delivery model and business delivery model. Just wanted it front of mind on people that it's for the businesses wanting people downtown, it's another obstruction. If you have to, driving through the downtown, you have to run an obstacle course to get around, or you get frustrated, it might be a reason to go to a different store or order from Amazon yourself, and we don't want to see that happen. Support your local downtown businesses. Okay, thank you.
One question I do have is on the signs, the sandwich board signs, what is the code 5 feet clearance off the building, or what is the municipal code on that?
I'm sorry,
For the,
JC.
for the sign, the boards, the signs?
Oh, 5 foot, it has to maintain a 5 foot of right-of-way.
Okay.
So it actually within, when they submit the permit, they have to submit a map as well. And that's one of the main things that we're looking for, is that somewhere within that 5 feet of right-of-way, the pedestrian traffic has, or they have 5 feet of right-of-way.
Okay, yeah, I'm just having a problem as a building owner with those signs as well, so I just want to make sure I have a clarification on it.
Yeah.
And then same on the Riverwalk as well, correct?
I'd have to check in, but I believe so. Yeah, did I get a yes?
It's the 5 feet.
It's based on 2 wheelchairs being able to pass each other.
Okay,
So that,
So 2
yeah.
average wheelchairs is 5 feet. It's an ADA thing.
okay, that's what I need clarified. Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy. Anything else? Great. And again, I'm sorry I forgot
Oh,
those.
no problem, that's fine. Okay. Okay, unfortunately, Larry could not be here this morning, so Carissa, if you want to just update us on what happened with the bid strategic plan committee meeting?
Sure, so Larry did give me a little update that he wanted to focus on. He would like to say that he found the 2017 study interesting for the questions that were reviewed, and many items have been addressed in some manner. I think the entire board should read the survey, as most of them were not on the board in 2017. It's a great starting point. So what the group kind of mentioned doing is redoing a survey for the downtown businesses, those who own property and those are just a tenant, so that we can get feedback and use that to potentially make a strategic plan.
Okay. All right, well, it's a start. So, so what he was talking about, is that something that you can send to us, where he said that we should read, if you wouldn't mind to? give
Yep,
us
so
a-
I'll send the survey
Okay,
the
awesome.
survey information to everyone.
Yep, thank you. All right, and then, Mark, if you just want to touch base on the facade grant committee?
Sure,
Thank
the
you.
facade grant committee met. We evaluated a number of plans, far outstripping our ability to fully fund all of them. We were able to fund a little less than 10% of the request, but we did award 2 substantial grants. One to Hussars for a redo of their Riverwalk facing stairways. They're going to drop from 2 stairways to 1 stairway, clean things up, add a deck. So it's a pretty substantial plan and looks great. I mean, it's really going to clean that up. And then the other grant that we made was to the building that houses Brazen Head and Antidote. It's adjacent to the Ghoulies, the Sal's Pizza property, where we did a lot of cleanup last year, and that's approaching completion now with some deck work, but that's for the repainting of that building. So it's going to clean up an awful lot of the backs of those businesses, make them look a lot better. So.
Okay, thanks. We're really lucky to have that, to be able to do the facade grant. I think it's phenomenal. And like you said, these 2 buildings are kind of right in the center of that back area in the Riverwalk. So I think hopefully it will give some of the other building owners the incentive to clean up that area as well and make the back sides very appealing for people to walk down there. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. Are there any agenda items for the next meeting that anyone would like to add for Carissa? Okay, if not, then I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
All right.
All right. Thanks, Beth. All right. Happy 4th, everyone.